Hello, this is Miss Lumley. Welcome to the Radical Functions test review. So we are in the middle of doing this test review, and our next problem is number 22. And I know that we've talked about like terms, like for instance on 23 when they're adding the radicals together, they have to be like terms. Cube root of 16, cube root of 54 are not like terms. But on 22, we can actually multiply 4 times 4 because they're both cube roots. So you have to make sure they wouldn't have to be 4 times 4 and 4. They could be two different numbers. But they do, in this case, they do have to be 2 cube roots. Now, there are ways to multiply them if they're different, but we would have to do other things, and that is not in this chapter. So it's okay to multiply 4 times 4. So we're going to take this one right here, and we're going to go, that's a 2 on the outside, because I'm talking about that 2 right there. And that's cube root of 4 times 4 is 16. And yes, I have to break this down because I can't leave it like that. So what is the cube root? I'm going to use 8 and 2 because I know the cube root of 8 is a 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cube root of 8 and I am going to put this number right here. I'm going to take the cube root of 8, I'm going to put it right here. And the reason why I changed colors is because I have too many 2's. Okay, so now I have 2 times 2 is 4, cube root with a 2 left over. Okay, that is going to be my final answer. All right. Okay, so let's do number 23. Now again, I'm going to break the 16 and the 54 down because I cannot add them. They are not like terms. So I'm going to make, this is going to go 8 and 2 again because the cube root of 8 is 2. And I'm going to use, for the 54, I'm going to use 27 and 2. Now, cube roots, how do you know what number to use? Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm just going to go, let's see here, 2 cubed is 8, so I know that one works. 2 to the 4th is 16, okay? So I don't need fourths, so let's move on. So let's go 3 cubed is 27. And so I tried 27, see if it goes into 54, and that's how I knew to use 27. Okay, so that's when I'd start figuring out, okay, I want all my cubes, 2 cubed, 3 cubed, 4 cubed, and so on. I just try which one of those numbers will go into 16 and 54. Okay, so let's take this out. So we've got the cube root of 8 is 3, so I'm going to put that in front with the other 3. And then I've got a cube root of 2 left over. Okay, let's do it again for the 54. The cube root of 27 is 3, so that comes out. I'm going to multiply that. When you take it out on the outside, you always multiply, so it goes with the 5. And then I'm going to have a cube root of 2 left over. Okay, so now what I have is 9 cube root 2 plus 15 cube root 2. And 9 plus 15 is 24 cube root 2. Okay, that right there is my final answer. Okay, let's do number 24. And now these you can just multiply together. Again, they're square roots, so it's okay to multiply them, but the 2 and the 5 have to stay on the outside, and the 3 and the 15 can go together. Okay, so just don't put a whole number inside with the square root. So the 2 can't go in with the square root, and the 3 can't come out. So the only numbers that I can multiply are the 2 and the 5, and the 3 and the 15. But then I have to break this 45 down, so I'm looking for square root, so I'm going to use the 9. The square root of 9 is what? 3. So I'm going to bring that on the outside. So my answer is 30 square root of 5. Okay? All right, let's try our next problem. Okay, these are some of the easier problems that you'll have on the test, okay? Remember, they want to write them in radical notation. So if I want to write them in radical notation, I'm going to have to use the radical sign for each one, okay? Now, the other thing you can do is you can go, well, the bottom number is the root. 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 So I'm going to go, let's change that. And let's go put a 2 right there. I'm just doing each one because I guess I find that fun. I don't know. So there's a 2. Okay. And look, I can't even see what that is anymore. Let's do this. There you go. Okay. So now, since I got the bottom number, let's go back and there we go. Let's go back and get the top number. The top number is the exponent. So a 1 for the top, 1 for the top here. I don't know why I left the base of the exponent left to last. It really doesn't matter. Okay, the m goes on the inside, the y goes on the inside, the r goes on the inside, and the x. And guess what? That is done. There's the answer for that one. There's the answer for that one. There's the answer for that one. And there will be a few of these on the test, okay? Just make sure you know how to write in radical notation. Okay, let's do the next one. That was probably the easiest one all day long. Okay, so for these we're going to distribute, okay? And guess what? Each one of these is a distribution problem. Looky there. These are cube roots, okay? So we have to be careful with that. Let's go ahead and make sure we've got this down right. So first of all, I can only multiply the 3 times the 18. Remember, the radicals, the number underneath the radicals, have to stay within the radical. So that is 2, let's go back, 2 square root of 54, okay, minus 2 square root 3, okay, and then I'm going to break this down. This has got to be a 9 and a 6. So what's the square root of 9? Okay, the square root of 9 is 3. So we're going to make this 6 square root 6 minus 2 square root 3. That's going to be your final answer on that one, okay? So you don't have to do any more with it. All you have to do is just leave it exactly like that. It's already simplified, okay? Let's do the next one. So the next one's going to be 2. Remember, I'm going to do this one right here. That's the square root of 50 minus 3 square root of 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, let's break it down. So this one is just 25 and 2, right? So what's the square root of 25? That square root of 25 is 5. That comes out in the front. Okay, so 5 times 2 is 10, square root 2, minus the square root of 25 is 5, so 3 times 5 is 15. This is all you can do with this problem. You have to leave it exactly like that. Okay? All right, and last one. So I don't care about the cube roots. I know they're all cube roots, and so they're all going to be like terms in that respect. I'm going to go ahead and just multiply. Okay, so I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm going to go 4 times 10. So this is 2 cube root of 40 minus 3 yeah, what's cube root of 27? It's really just 3, right? And 3 times 3 is what? If you do 3 times 3, that's really just 9. So this is really 9 times the cube root of 4. So let's take this out. You know, sometimes we're going to see something that we don't really need to do. Okay? So we're going to go, because that would have just made it harder. It was going to be a cube root of 108. Okay, so cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And if you multiply that times the 4, now you've got, let's make sure I've got my pen there, 9 cube root of 4. Okay, all right, so now we're going to break this one down. This is 40 is going to be 8 and 5 because I want a cube root. Okay, cube root of 8 is 2. I'm going to put that one out in front. So now I've got 4 cube root of 5 minus 9 cube root of 4. Can't take a cube root of 4, can't take a cube root of 5. Basically, I am done. Okay? All right. One more time. Let's see what we've got next. Okay, so now we're to the ones where you're like, oh my goodness. Let's see if we can do these. Okay, I'm going to FOIL. So I've got one here, right? And then I've got to do this one here, and I've got to do that to each one of these. Okay, so I'm going to take this off because I think it's harder to see. So let's do the first one. So the first one is the 2, oops, there we go, 2 times the 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 3 is the square root of 24. I'm not going to break anything down until I'm done here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the outer one, and that's going to be minus 10 square root 8. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use all this space right here, and then we'll do 33 and 34 in a different spot. Okay, so I've gone this one here and this one here. Now I've got to do this one right here. This is a negative 12 square root 3, and then this one's going to be plus 15. Okay, all right, let's break down what we can. So we're going to do, and we're actually, these are square roots, so this is 4 and 6, because I can take the square root of 4, and this is 4 and 2. Okay, so the square root of 4 is 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2 right there, and the square root of 4 is 2 here, so I'm going to multiply by a 2 right here. So 2 times 8 is 16 with a 6 left over. 10 times 2 is 20 with a 2 left over, minus 12 square root 3 plus 15. Okay, the answer for number 32 is this big long answer right here. All right. Okay, so let's do number 33. We're just going to move 33 and we're going to put 33 right here. So again, I'm going to FOIL. This one first, and then this one. So that is the square root of 36. You know what, let's just do this in a darker color so you can see. Okay, so we've got square root of 36 plus 2 square root 12. And then I'm going to do, so I did this one first, and now I'm going to do this one. That's 3 square root 3, but that's a minus. 3 square root 3 and minus 6. Square root of 36 is actually 6. Oh, look at that. And 6 minus 6 makes 0. So that one minus that one is 0. Let's break this down. This is 4 and 3, right? What's the square root of 4? It's 2. So that's 2 times 2 right there. So 2 times 2 is 4 square root 3 minus 3 square root 3. What's 4 minus 3? 1 square root 3. And so that is your final answer. That one really got knocked down quite a bit. Okay, so that was number 33. All right, we're going to do 34 right at the bottom here. Okay. So I'm gonna, these are cube roots, so I've got to move this like that. So that 10 times 250, or excuse me, 10 times 25 is 250. Okay, so let's do, okay, it doesn't like me right now. There we go. All right, so let's do the cube root. 10 times 25 is 250. There we go, get back to where we were. And then I'm going to do this one right here. So that's 10 and 3. So I've got to go minus 3 cube root 10 because I can't put them together like that. Okay, they have to just stay like that. All right, and then I've got minus 3 cube root 25, which is just going to sit like that because I can't get a cube root of 25. And negative 3 times negative 3. I think you need to watch out for that. That's a positive 9. I think some people did something weird on the quiz with that. Okay. If I break this down, this is going to be 125 and 2 because 125 times 2 is 250. The cube root of 125 is 5. And then I'm left with a cube root of 2. 3 cube root 10 minus 3 cube root 25 plus 9. There's nothing else I can do here. I can't get a cube root of 2, I can't get a cube root of 10, and I can't get a cube root of 25. And so I have actually simplified this as much as I can. Okay? Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.